You talking to me?
It's gonna be legendary.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Ho, 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 ho.
They're here. All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
You're listening to Natalie Lipka and Wayne Frazier on Hollywood Close-Up.
Heard your sad song on the radio playing. Found a girl, but she wouldn't say. It's not hard, it's not complicated. A real woman wouldn't treat you. And I know it scared you to death.
Hello, and welcome to Hollywood Close-Up. I'm Wayne Frazier.
And I'm Natalie Lipka.
And we are two actors talking our way to the top. Welcome to the show. You can check out our website at natalieandwayne.com, and please follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at Natalie and Wayne.
Yes, and that was music again this week from Aliyah Moulden. Make sure to check her out at aliyahmoulden.com. I did not want to press pause on that song. Well, I just wanted to keep it going.
I agree.
Well, why did we do that?
I don't know, because we had to do a show.
Okay.
All right. But her music, we had so much fun with her last week.
So much fun.
It was awesome.
She is just this bright light.
She's a star.
She's a star.
She's a star in the sky. She's a star.
No, she was a star in the studio.
She was a star in the studio.
A star in the studio.
She was a star in the studio and a star in the sky.
And we have a great guest coming up.
We do, yes. Moving right along.
She is no stranger to the podcast world, as Wayne and I have both been on her podcast. Mm-hmm. Christina Marie Leonard will be here.
Yeah, and she got the Hidden Rebels podcast, so you know there'll be some Star Wars talk, and so I'm all good with that.
Shoot. I did not brush up again on my Star Wars.
Oh, good Lord. You'll be fine.
And Rena Marie is here.
Hello, Rena Marie.
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thanks.
Fantastic.
I think you and I have a little something to talk about, don't we?
We do.
Let's give them something to talk about.
First, Natalie, we're talking. Natalie,
I got something to talk about.
Yes, you go first and talk about
you go first.
You go first and talk about your thing.
My thing. It's not my thing. It's Kimley Smith's thing.
Okay.
You remember we had Kimley Smith on the show. Amazing, inspirational woman and actress. And I went to see her Totally Kimley show.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Which was phenomenal.
So what we were talking about on the show, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And it was at Theater of Note in Hollywood. I'd never been to that theater before. Super cute. Really liked it. And she was just brilliant. Her story is incredible, and how her journey for her, and she shares all that with you on stage. I was definitely left in tears at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Oh, did you tell her I said hey?
Oh, shoot, did I?
Right in the middle of the show.
Sabotage.
She did say she was sad that you weren't there, though.
Oh, okay.
I think she said hello to you.
Oh.
And I was like...
All right.
No.
Oh.
I told her, I don't know. I'm on the show now. I don't know what I said, but I know that you wanted to be there, and you were sad you couldn't be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that went. I would love to see that at some point.
Yeah. Well, she
absolutely.
keeps touring, and she did the show in Lithuania. Remember, she was talking about that, and it's very powerful and empowering.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of power.
Yes.
The power of Christopher Nolan.
I've got the power.
Boy.
Yes. Guys, I'm probably not. I'm probably gonna. Yeah.
Someone didn't like this film.
Well, it's well. Let me start.
So you got to tell them the backstory.
The name of the movie is Dunkirk. It came out this weekend. And it. I'll talk more about it in Quick and Quirky. But I saw the film. Saw the premiere. I thought that, and I'm by all means not doing a review. But I did find some issues with it, and I will go here real quick with the film. Now, cinematography wise and picture wise, and sound and the shots, and 70 millimeter. I saw it in the big IMAX 70 millimeter screen. Fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
just powerful movie.
Yeah,
I
agree.
very intense. One of Christopher Nolan's shortest films. I mean, it was only like an hour and 50 minutes or so. Yeah. So it went by fast. And for a movie to go by fast, you think, okay, well, then he liked it and everything. And it's not that I disliked the movie. It's I disliked the back and forth without ruining it for everybody. It's called The Mold, or Land, Sea, and Air, and it just keeps going back and forth to these three different situations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a problem with that storytelling because I personally could not get invested in these characters, and I just didn't care enough.
Yep.
And that was my problem.
So full disclaimer, I saw Dunkirk over the weekend as well. And so Wayne and I we were just having a little back and forth. I said I liked it, and you said I had some issues. But you know what? Now that you explain what your issues are, I actually agree with you.
Ooh.
Because I had the same. I thought the sound was unbelievable and so realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. They were doing a little bit of this jumping around, and you would see a particular scene and go, wait a minute. That's just a different angle of something that
and it could be 10 minutes later.
Right, exactly. And so that was a little kind of hard to follow. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you there. But yeah, I liked it, but I totally understand where you're going.
Right,
yeah.
and without going in much, I don't ruin anything. But
right.
I just feel like for the story of what Dunkirk represented in these over 400,000 troops and all the machines and all the stuff that was left behind on this French island, I just feel like the real story to me was these brave men and some women that came from Britain as fishermen or as yachtsmen or yachtspeople, how you want to put that, but as
the civilian naval force, if you will.
Yes,
the Navy basically said we need you guys.
Absolutely,
everyone that owns a ship, a boat, we need you.
Right, and I wanted to see that bravery and that just there shouldn't have been a tear in the house, and
I do kind of agree with you there too.
So I hate to be picky like that. Visually stunning,
So orally, like orally, like the sound design was amazing,
and it'll get awards for it. It will.
And the acting was fantastic, and seeing these soldiers.
Didn't know that was Tom Hardy as the pilot. Fantastic work. You know,
he was. I did know, but he is fantastic. But the actors who really had to portray, in very few words, this deep level of traumatization that they were sustaining from just this constantly everywhere they would go to try to get safe. They would be, ambushed. I mean, that was incredible to see. But I do agree with you that. They really focused on this one civilian boat and the dynamics happening on that boat. And you kind of got caught up in that. And it was like you kind of wanted to see more civilian rescues happening or something.
Right.
I don't know. So I will agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of all of a sudden turn around. But, go see it.
But go see it. It's still a great movie. But yes, it could have been.
You should see it now. You really should see it because it is visually stunning.
So it sounds like you need to see it in the theater.
I think so.
Because of the
really
visual
do.
aspect and the oral
yes
stimulation
and that's how I felt with War for the Planet of the Apes. There's a lot of people that are saying it's not as great as I said it was because
you were talking about
cinematography.
That last week, right?
Cinematography was amazing to me, and the pictures and the sound, but it's the same kind of thing. Story wasn't as good as, and I know what we're doing here. We story on one side, acting on the other. I don't know, but I maybe one of those films this year will come together as one big solid.
Just wait.
Yeah.
It's coming. It is.
It'll be the movie starring Natalie and I.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Done.
All right,
Time for a little social media moment.
You heard it first.
Yes, it's happening. Quick shout out to Scott and Kevin who are listening on Facebook. Thank you for that. And did you see The Rock's new film? Did you see it? He did a film with Siri. It's Dwayne Johnson, and Siri dominated the day in a new short. I was watching this on Apple's YouTube page. No. Oh my gosh, you have to check it out. It's basically you should never ever under any circumstances underestimate how much Dwayne Johnson can get done in a day with Siri. Is what they had posted on the YouTube page. So check it out. It makes me love The Rock and Siri even more. So also I was reading on Popular Science, popsci.com, tips for protecting your privacy and warding off trolls on social media, very important. The article shares an explanation of what it means to block on Facebook, how Twitter lets you mute or completely block others, and how to filter out offensive or inappropriate comments from your Instagram settings, and more. So check that out at popside.com. And then also, as we all know, Comic-Con was this past weekend in San Diego, and Mashable posted its superheroes versus smartphones at Comic-Con. We already posted on our Facebook and Twitter at Natalie and Wayne, so check it out. But basically, it's a gallery of what superheroes get up to when they think no one is looking. So it's all these pictures of like Supergirl and Spider-Man and all of them on their phone with these cute little quotes of like how they're on Tinder or Google Maps. And yeah, it's really funny. So check that out.
That makes me wonder then real quick then, if Superman is a smartphone, but he's up above where the towers are, is his reception no good?
Ooh.
When he's flying?
Good question.
We ask you, Hollywood Close-Up listeners.
It's a Superman question.
Because he's Superman.
Super smartphones.
I think his phone would just automatically be super smart because he's Superman.
But I'm just talking about like, does he go with T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T, Where's and does the
or Boost Mobile?
Boost
Superman
Mobile
likes to boost himself.
Superman's like he's just a cheap bastard.
Or maybe
I'm just gonna go with Boost.
Maybe he just has his own super.
Maybe he generates his own cellular signal,
cellular data through his pores.
Yes, that's right.
It's super cellular.
Maybe he's on the kryptonite. No, I guess he wouldn't.
No, it wouldn't be kryptonite. No,
it wouldn't be that. That would be a.
But bad reception would be.
Sorry for saying this.
Yeah, bad reception would be his kryptonite.
There you go.
Yeah.
Super cellular man. That's what a new superhero. Comic-Con.
You heard it first.
Yes. Wow.
Super cellular. I don't know.
Well, the reception is great sometimes.
No dead zones, is that what that?
Yeah, no dead zones. No, I don't know.
I don't know, Wayne. We'll move on from that. We'll write some jokes later.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Is that your social media?
Oh, that's my little social media moment. Right. I thought I already ended it.
No, I interrupted you, as usual.
What?
And it's time for some not-so-quick and quirky news with your friend, Wayne Frazier. So, Christopher Nolan's much-anticipated World War II movie, the 70mm film epic Dunkirk, opened this weekend. Box office take, about $51 million, so not too bad. Speaking of box office moolah, according to Variety.com, DC's Wonder Woman has officially, guys, become the highest-grossing film domestically of the summer 2017. $389 million so far.
Woohoo!
Awesome.
So congrats to them, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot and all that. And finally, guys, got to bring it down again. I'm sorry, but Linkin Park frontman Chester Bennington died of apparent suicide, though right now there are pending questions of a possible murder.
What?
Yeah, so
really?
So it might be investigations on that. We'll see we'll try to keep you posted on that. He was only 41.
Oh my gosh.
And actor John Hurd, guys, you may be best remembered for his role as the dad or the father in Home Alone. And several other movies and TV shows.
He was a great actor.
Yeah. He passed this weekend also. So rest in peace and to his family and the families of Chester. That's all I got for the good old quick and quirky. I'm Wayne Frazier.
And I'm Natalie Lipko. We will be right back on Hollywood Close-Up with actress Christina Marie Leonard.
Can you only imagine? I can only imagine what it would be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes would see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. I can only imagine to be surrounded by your glory. What will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus?
We are back on Hollywood Close-Up. I'm Natalie Lipka.
And I'm Wayne Frazier.
We have a very special guest in the studio today. She is the creator and star of the web series Loch Ness. She is the host of the Hidden Rebels podcast. It's actress, stand-up comedian, and producer Christina Marie Leonard.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
There they are.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for having us on your podcast.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It was so
You guys
fun.
were amazing.
Oh,
Go
no.
on.
Just
It's
keep
true.
the whole time.
No,
the
I
rest of the
had,
episode,
like-
just keep talking about
Well,
us.
I feel like more relaxed on podcasts than in regular conversations. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's, like less pressure. It's
Do you
good.
feel like, because you're a stand-up comic also, do you feel like that doing, like you said, doing the podcast or being up on stage and that, is that your comfort zone in life?
Yeah, and,
that's a
and
weird
behind
question,
the
but-
camera too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what is it? What do you think that drives you to that's your home, I guess, if you will, away from?
Well, when I was a little kid, I used to always hide in the closet. It sounds so weird.
Okay.
Like I used to hide. I had kind of.
I
like, a
do that
walk-in
anyway.
closet.
I get home and I just hide. I just curl up in a ball. I in the closet. Why? I'm kidding.
It's cold in
Wayne.
there.
We're going to talk about that later on a very special Hollywood Close-Up.
on a very special episode on NBC this fall.
Exactly.
Wayne Frazier. No, go ahead.
Oh my gosh, Mona Lisa's under the table. The little
Oh.
dog under there. I just didn't realize. I was like, what's under there?
The show's everywhere today.
Sorry.
Oh, please,
well,
sorry.
No wonder we get along so well. We both like to hide in closets.
Yeah, exactly.
I just felt safe there. It's like a little space, and I feel like there's that same kind of safety net, like on a stage or in front of a camera or like behind a microphone. It's like all little protective things.
Right.
Which is weird because there's so many people that feel the opposite,
Yeah, I know.
besides us in this industry that are
Right.
like, no, of course I feel comfortable in front of a mic or on stage or whatever. But then how about with, in your stand-up and with the podcast and talking about yourself and your life? And so does that feel more comfortable, like sharing it with more people than having an intimate conversation?
Well, I think that I either am really guarded or I just forget the filter and then just kind of purge everything.
Mhm.
And then later I'm like, oh, did I really say that? But
I know that
that's
feeling.
better than just being fake,
Mhm.
Well, you're just being yourself, and I think
Mhm.
that's why people tune into your show, and people go to your stand-up shows because it's you, and that's what I love about seeing you on stage.
Well,
Is
thank
it's
you.
you? We're not getting some kind of phony, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
A phony person?
Well, there it is.
She's not lying on stage, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
It is what is about you is when I was doing the podcast with you, I was like, oh my gosh, we can just sit here and chat all day. And it's like, oh wait, time's up. We got to go. But it was so much fun. And you create a comfortable atmosphere that not only you're able to speak about things in your life, but you created that for me as well.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried when I first started doing stand-up. I mean, I needed some sort of formula to figure out how to write jokes and stuff. But eventually I was like, I need to just kind of make it my own rather than have this, super, super structured thing because it just, that's what, like, exactly what you say. People like to, that's why you have all the guests you have on here, I'm sure, is because you want to know the people
Mhm.
Right,
and the
exactly.
humanity to them.
Well, let's start. Okay, you began your career. You're from Omaha, correct?
Mhm.
And did you know then, when you were a young child, that entertainment was the one for you, or what happened? What was the spark, the epiphany,
Well, so with the Star Wars podcast, you guys know I'm obsessed with Princess Leia. But before Princess Leia, there was Pocahontas,
Mhm.
and I was obsessed with Pocahontas. And when that movie came, I mean, I had been. My mom took me to plays as a kid, and I was in church, so we did choir, and it was always like musical. And my mom was pretty artistic, even though she's not in an artistic field. But when I saw the movie Pocahontas, that's when I was like, I want to be Pocahontas. And I had a Pocahontas play in my backyard with 25 kids, and I like basically
awesome.
cast and crewed the whole thing up. Yeah, and then my mom. I think I didn't know that acting was a profession you could do. And then my mom said, I think you need to take an acting class. And I said, no, Mom, I know everything there is to know about acting.
Oh, there you go.
That is amazing.
Which is not true at all.
Yeah, there's always something going on. And then you decided, okay, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take classes, and I'm gonna become an actress and work on this field. But it wasn't just you also are musically inclined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started playing piano when I was 9, which is the same year that I finally agreed to take an acting class. Um, so yeah, I played piano and I played piano in a band, a metal band, which is what the web series was based off of.
See, I would not have thought you were a
Yeah.
metal person at all. I've known you for a while, and I never knew that until about a year into knowing you. That I was like, what?
Well, and I didn't know until I checked out I saw the web series, but then I read the story behind it, and I was like, oh, wait, no, she's not just playing being in a metal band. She was in a metal band. This is real life right now.
Do you still work with that? You still with the band? And
Well, no, the band, that was just a high school thing. They actually kicked me out of the band.
oh no.
That's kind of what inspired the web series. I had an issue with having a crush on band members and stuff like that while having a boyfriend. I just didn't think boundaries were a thing, you know?
Oh, sure, why not?
Right, and that's what the web series is about. It's very
Right.
funny.
Thank you.
And how you're trying as this band to become something, and, you all got your own issues. And so let's talk about the series a little bit. First of all, of course, I thought, you have people playing your parents. And I was thinking back to like Master of None. I don't know if you've watched that.
I've watched
show.
a little. Mm-hmm.
And Aziz Ansari has his real parents. Did you ever think of having your real parents in your web series?
Well, my parents, they wasn't really an option because they live in Nebraska,
Mhm.
and my mom could maybe do it because she likes to act, but she's a little campy. Like growing up, she would end up being in some plays with me because it was Nebraska, and people would always drop out, and they never had enough like adults to play, But my dad, he's one of those people we were talking about before that he has stage fright. He was in the Shrine Circus for a while, but it was like he only did it because it was charity, and I don't know why that worked for him. But yeah, so it would never have been an option with my dad. And my mom's way too campy. She would have just
Okay.
like hammed it up and just kind of posed. But the actors I did use were very close. We didn't audition those people. Those were people from my life. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
and go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, so with this series, you ended up doing a Kickstarter campaign, raising the money. Take us on the journey of that.
Okay, so it was around the same time that I started doing stand up that I started writing the series, which was like not quite a year into living in LA, and I sort of had like this breakdown of, oh my God, I actually moved across the country because initially I just was like, let's go. And so my roommate Pez, he's an animator, and he had been out of work for a while, and he said to me he wished that when he was out of work he had created his own content. And I had done a short film recently, and he said, that was really good, Christina, why don't you use this time that you're out of work, because I'd quit my job while I had just made all these dumb decisions, and he said, why don't you use this and do something positive, and keep talking about your metal band, because when I went home I reconnected with all those people. And so I started writing it, and then gradually it helped me a lot with my depression. It helped me to kind of get back on my feet, and I asked some college friends to help produce, and one of them was a DP, and they happened to be dating. So one of them, I basically got the core group from people that had moved to LA also from my college in Nebraska, my theater and film college. And then after that, we realized that with the budget we would need to make it happen, that we'd have to do a Kickstarter. So
Right.
We chose Kickstarter as opposed to the other options because we had to cut the script in half. Basically, I had a co-writer because it was so close to me, I couldn't just chop it myself. And even to make it half as long, we would have to have at least $10,000. So if we didn't raise that, it would be pointless to do like an Indiegogo where it's like, oh, well, we got 7,000. So we just did a Kickstarter, the all or nothing campaign, because it made sense for us.
Right.
And it did make sense. So kudos to you.
So that worked out.
Thanks. Yeah.
Are we get more episodes coming up? Are we going to continue this?
No, actually, I did write a second season, but I'm kind of focusing on other things right now. It got into a festival in Nebraska, so I'll be going there.
Congrats.
Thanks. It'll be in October, so that'll be its first. We had a cast and crew screening, and it's online, but that'll be its first like big screening.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you do, which we were like Natalie was saying in the introduction, and so happy and proud to have been on your podcast, the Hidden Rebels podcast, and you just your love of Princess Leia. What brought you to go? Okay, I want to do a Star Wars podcast, and that's it.
Well, that started with stand-up. It's interesting how much stand-up and acting connect because a few years ago, I felt like, I have to choose one or the other. It seemed so black and white, and now it's like one doesn't exist without the other.
That's awesome, though. Isn't that how it should be, though?
It really is. And
They always tell you, do all sorts of stuff and expand your universe and do all these things. Why can't it coincide?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's so much, what a relief, to not have to, of course, scheduling conflicts, sometimes you have to choose. But overall, so I was doing stand up around the time The Force Awakens came out, and I wrote a few Star Wars jokes, and my friend kept bringing me up on stage as this girl that always talks about Star Wars. And finally he said that I should start a podcast, and I'd always wanted to do a podcast, but I never really knew what to do one about. And I had a mic because I'd been doing some voiceover auditions. So I had like the bare minimum equipment in order, to do it. Nothing was stopping me.
And why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so now it's like it's a big thing, and you do this every week.
Yeah.
Just like we do.
And you just came up on 100 episodes, or a year? A year is what it is.
Just over a year.
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I was like.
Congratulations.
I knew it was a big milestone, which is super exciting.
It is
deal.
exciting. Yeah, it is exciting to because we got our about a week ago we got our 100th anniversary episode T-shirts
On our
from the network studios, and that of course was about 100 episodes shy because we've already almost to 200
episodes ago. We are
But
on
that's
top
okay.
Of things over
But
here.
it was
we got the shirt. That's all that matters.
we got the shirt. So yeah, but you should have a shirt for yourself.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
1 year shirt, the
Yes.
Star Wars shirt. Yeah. Are you looking forward to the new one? Have you seen the Last Jedi trailer?
Yes, I'm excited. My dad is so funny. I had him on my podcast once. He goes, "Well, it looks like Luke is a Darth."
It's like out of the blue.
I gotta go back and listen to that episode.
my
I have
God.
not heard the one with your dad. But
Well, my dad, that was before the trailer came out, but he's just so funny. Like, he introduced me to Star Wars, but he doesn't know. He's like the worst with quoting things and just the.
that's what you were saying.
Oh my God.
That's the best though. That's the funniest
Yeah.
part about it.
Oh my God.
Did you end up in San Diego this weekend at all? Comic-Con?
No, I didn't end up going.
You went last year, right?
No, I've never been.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
been to the Long Beach because I also do stand up as Princess Leia. As,
Right.
like, a different set.
And I thought you had been there to the Comic-Con as Princess Leia, but no.
Just Long Beach Comic Con, which they have in September and I think May, and then the Kamikaze,
Okay.
the LA
Right.
one. And I definitely want to do the San Diego, but it's just this year my parents were in town and then I got sick and it was just like,
Yeah.
Aw.
But you did get to go to tell us about the cantina real quick.
Oh, I went to the Scum and Villainy Cantina and I brought my parents, which was really cool. It's I think it's gonna be done in July. It was like a pop-up on
Oh, okay.
yeah.
One
We
of
don't
those
have
pop-up
much
bars.
time left.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's on near like Ivar Street,
Okay.
Mhm.
and it's really cool. It looks like the cantina inside, and they have blue milk, which I don't drink, so I made my mom. I forced her to drink blue milk. I just forced her to drink the alcoholic things that I like.
Yeah.
Is it lactose intolerant? I don't know.
Or is she lactose intolerant?
Yeah, that too. That they're doing all these pop-up bars. I know there's a Game of Thrones one. And there's a that's supposed to be out right now. And then
And then I thought they were not a bar per se, but they were supposed to do the Saved by the Bell, the Max.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
supposed to be. I
gosh.
can't wait for that. I'm so excited.
And Beetlejuice has got one. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them that
yeah.
just keep popping up, which is cool.
We went to the Beetlejuice one after the Scum and Villainy. We were just walking around, and my dad was so tired, but he wasn't wearing heels, so we should have been tired. But we brought him in there, and so we basically that one was free, so we kind of got like two for the price of one.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love
Good
that. I
deal.
love those little bars. That's kind of cool. And so when's the next episode of Hidden Rebels coming out?
That actually came out today, which was Tuesday. Well, on Tuesday the 25th, but we'll have another one on Tuesday the 1st.
Okay.
Okay.
And that will be Clint and Jake Milby, and they're big into like shooting camera stuff, and they go to a lot of like events, and they shoot like they're more on the like cinematography side.
Oh, right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you'll get that aspect.
Always awesome to
Exciting.
hear that
Yeah.
different aspects. And then when's your next stand-up?
Let's see. I have the 25th, at Flappers, 7:30. I've got my first
tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys go tonight. If you're listening now, you have plans tonight.
And if
There
you're
you go.
listening tomorrow, then it was last night.
Exactly.
Say that sometimes.
I just got my first gig at the Ice House, actually.
Oh, congratulations.
fun.
Wow,
Thank you.
That's awesome. When's that?
That's a big comedy club.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's the 4th. That'll be
Okay.
August 4th. And then Burbank Comedy Festival.
Guys,
in
see
August.
this lady. She is absolutely amazing. Christina Marie Leonard, thank you so much for coming out. Appreciate your time and spending the afternoon with us. This has been amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It's a delight. I love your podcast.
We love yours.
We love you. We do.
Thank you so much. Christina Marie Leonard was in the house. Thank you. Thank you, Rena Marie, Network Studios.
All our listeners.
Facebook peeps.
I know. I haven't been keeping up with the Facebook to see who's listening, but thank you for listening. And, of course, a special thank you again to Aliyah Moulden. Make sure to check out her music at aliyahmoulden.com.
And please remember, cancer has affected so many of our lives, and we can only help by donating to cancerresearch.org and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society at lls.org. Let's end this disease once for all, people. Come on.
And catch up on past episodes. We will be back here next week, natalieandwayne.com. For Hollywood Close-Up, I'm Natalie Lipka.
There she is, and I'm Wayne Frazier.
He is.
Until the next one.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Hollywood Close-Up with Wayne Frazier and Natalie Lipka. Be sure to visit natalieandwayne.com for past episodes as well as information on future ones. Also, be sure to rate and comment about the show in iTunes. Until next time, bye-bye.
Jealous of the wind. 'Cause I